I'm Crystal Smallwood, and I work at Jenkins Independent. This is my 5th year there. I worked 27 years in Pike County as a librarian, so this is 33 years I've spent as a school librarian, and 34 years in education. So this is probably it for me. So I'm going to try to make this the best I can. My topic today is fake news, and I want to tell you how I got the idea to do this. Last year, I wrote a Donors Choose project called Media Literacy because a lot of our kids, they are so exposed to so much fake news and commercial advertising, and they don't really understand they're getting all of these hidden messages and things. So we did a lesson last year on media literacy, and it kind of catapulted into this fake news lesson that I'm going to be doing this year. So my problem is, as you all know, you can't hardly watch the news programs anymore. They're all biased, just about. I mean, we're almost down to just using C-SPAN or even listening to the BBC to get unbiased news. So children really, it's critical that they learn how to evaluate what they listen to, what they read. So this year, my problem is teens are at risk for falling for bogus stories online. They do it every day. We all do it in our social media. How much fake news do you see? How many times have you seen that Betty White has passed away? And she's still there, isn't she? Hopefully she's still there. So they fall for a lot of this, and they click on it. And then it asks for email addresses, and it asks for phone numbers, and it asks for you to give information. And then all of a sudden, your news feed is blown up with everything you mentioned. You know, they know what's going on in your life. It's the super information highway. But my essential question is, how can I evaluate news stories for truth and accuracy? So my $1,000 for my innovative grant this year, I used it to buy these magazines for my students. 6th graders all read Storyworks, 7th graders read Action, and the 8th graders read Choices. And these magazines are very different because they don't have a lot of advertisement in them. Then we can pull out other magazines and we can compare. You know, when someone's trying to sell you things, what are you reading and how is it affecting you? So these are great magazines. They have great online resources. They might have like a little 3-minute video clip for everything you read to kind of motivate them. They really love them. So I was talking about using Donors Choose. I have a handout for you. Let's see, did you already give it? Okay. I've had 38 projects funded on Donors Choose in the last 2 years. Some of them have been as high as $1,500, some of them $200. Everything I have in the library has been through Donors Choose pretty much, other than the library books when I went in. We have a small budget. Even my pencil sharpeners, I did a project, Keep Your Pencils on Point. I bought enough pencils to last me 3 years, okay? 2 pencil sharpeners. It's just simple little projects. I encourage all of you to use that. Last year, every project that was posted on that site was funded in one day. It was announced on the Tonight Show and all that, and I had 3 projects posted at that time. You know, I got a huge iPad, I got all kinds of things because I had projects on there. So if you are a young teacher especially, you need to make use of that, okay? All right, let's see. Some of the other things that we're going to be doing, if you're not familiar with the Google Applied Skills, if you've never used that, if you are a Donors Choose teacher, you can get $300 to spend toward a project, toward magazines. I've gotten these magazines funded on Donors Choose before, but it's hard to get a $1,000 project funded. That's why innovative grants, they're great. This is my 3rd innovative grant. But Google Applied Skills, they have a unit in there called Research a Topic. So I'm going to do this with my students this year. It's when you have to go in and you write your own fake news, and you try to convince your classmates that it's real. So they're going to be very creative with that. They have to write a real news top story and they have to write a fake news. And the kids have to decide which one's real and which one's fake. What are we looking for? Did they ask for an email address in their article? Okay. Did they have phishing techniques in there? We're going to learn the vocabulary. Let's see. The Be Internet Awesome game. How many of you use the Google Classroom? Anyone in here? Okay, we are a Google Classroom school, so this is something I've put on for my students, and it's a game that kids play. They have to answer questions on digital citizenship in order to win the game. So it will say, your password is C. Smallwood. Is that a strong password? And then if they say yes, then they don't move in the game. You know, they have to have a character, they have to have a capital letter, they have to have a number. So they've learned a lot of little things like that. Okay. So use that handout. If you don't want to do a Donors Choose project or join that, at least go on the site and look up some ideas, projects people have done. You can look at my projects if you want to. You can get ideas. You can write a project in 1 hour. I have done them in my planning period before and posted them. So I just highly encourage you to do that. I want to say I'm very thankful for innovative grants. I think it's the best thing for teachers. Encourage teachers in your school to apply. And anybody have any questions?